they're coming into this year without James Worthy, who was voted in a lot of polls as the player of the year.
Well, obviously one of the great players in America, #1 guy in the draft last year. They also missing Jimmy Black, who was a guy that ran this ball club that needs that backcourt leadership so well. So they're really missing two key links.
All right, let's take a look, though, at two players that are back. Michael Jordan. He was the ACC Rookie of the Year.
Well, Michael's a great leaper, an outstanding outside shooter. He's gotten a little bigger this year. Here you see him on a backdoor move. Got a 42-inch vertical leap. Can play with anybody at almost any position.
And then at center, the All-American Sam Perkins.
Well, Sam is a great inside performer. This year, of course, he'll have to pick up a lot of the load that James Worthy had inside. He's a great leaper, fine defender, has excellent hands.
Missouri has won 3 straight Big 8 championships, going for an unprecedented 4th. But they lost the Big 8 Conference Player of the Year in Ricky Frazier.
Well, Ricky Frazier was an explosive offensive performer down inside. They'll really miss him. They'll also miss, as did North Carolina, a key player in Moon McCrary, who was a great defensive player for them.
They have 2 guys, Michael Walker and Prince Bridges, who will not play today due to injury. But let's look at the guy that's a quarterback of this ball club, guard John Sunvall.
Well, John Sunvall, an excellent backcourt performer, has made a lot of preseason All-American teams, has great quickness, excellent ball handler, and a beautiful perimeter shooter.
And the guy that they call the greatest center in the history of Missouri, Steve Stepanovich.
Well, this is supposed to be the year of the centers, Gary, around the nation, and Steve certainly is up there among the very best. Here you see him ripping off a rebound. He plays every aspect of the game very well, a very solid player inside.
An all Big 8 performer. This is the first time Missouri has ever played an ACC team. We'll be back to start this game, the tip-off from the Checker Dome. Each other. Stepanovich will not pick up on Perkins. Kavanagh will, as Missouri likes to play that tenacious man-to-man defense. But Doherty, Jordan, and Perkins, the starters back from last year. Braddock is the only senior on the North Carolina team. The last time that Missouri played here in the Checker Dome, they lost in the Midwest Regional Semifinals, a 1-point loss to the University of Houston. CBS, Stepanovich at 6'11", a senior from DeSmet High School in St. Louis. He'll be going up against Sam Perkins. They list Perkins at 6'9", but he plays like he's 7'2" with those long arms. And Stepanovich off the Sunbull. John Sunbull, the all Big 8 guard from a year ago, to Ron Jones. Jones, a very tough defensive player. Stepanovich, they'll look to him for more offense. And look at this tough defense thrown up by North Carolina.
Double team, and there you found Jones wide open. Nobody can find him.
On the move, Braddock. Braddock, as we mentioned, the only senior. He is an excellent outside shooter. Buzz Peterson, who was slowed early last year with the ankle. And North Carolina now will set it up.
With Stepanovich on Doherty, you'll see Stepanovich lay off him a little bit to help out inside on Perkins.
Here is Perkins. Perkins has had some knee trouble. You can see the wrap on the knee. The left-hander. Dressler with a rebound.
Good job by Kavanagh. Didn't let it come across the middle.
Art Dressler, who had some knee trouble, missed 1 year with it. He started to get some of that fluidity back.
He likes that turnaround jumper inside. Perkins was shielding in the other direction.
Stepanovich, what a year he may have. His final year at Missouri. They've won 3 Big 8 titles since he's been here. Peterson, Braddock. Here's Matt Doherty, who is a really unsung player on this Tar Heel team.
There you can see Stepanovich double teaming on Perkins. He let Doherty go completely. I think what you're going to find is Norm Stewart's going to say we're going to make Doherty prove that he can score. Of course, he had that great game last year in the NCAA regionals against Alabama, but pretty good move by Norm Stewart.
It's 2-2 on that jumper by Perkins, Stepanovich, and we have traveling against Missouri. That'll turn it over.
North Carolina gives the baseline. Unlike most people in basketball, they allow you to go down on the baseline. Of course, it hurt him against St. John's, but guys like Russell that can go that baseline and score.
This North Carolina team lost their first game of the year in that Hall of Fame Classic to St. John's in overtime. First loss they had opening day in 18 years. It shows you the tradition of the Tar Heels.
Set play, trying to set up down inside for Jordan to get low. Here he comes.
Good ball movement. Jordan to Doherty. Missouri will stay in that man-to-man. Norm Stewart does not like the zone, and look at him playing.
Stepanovich without a man right now. They got a big mismatch.
And they shoot it up against Stepanovich, and he has a rebound. Greg Cavender. Cavender, 6'9½", a sophomore from Springfield, Missouri. Dressler was a high school teammate of Stepanovich in St. Louis. Sundvold.
Great move by Sundvold to offset when he saw the defense. Stepanovich is an excellent passer. Looks for the open man well.
At the 17:30 mark, 4-2, Missouri with the lead. Peterson was a high school player of the year in North Carolina his senior year. To Doherty.
That's the philosophy, Norm Stewart. He's going to make Doherty prove he can put up the shot. You could see that time, Gary, down the court that Missouri had all 5 players inside the paint defensively. They're going to go ahead and give up the perimeter.
One thing that concerns Norm Stewart, due to the injuries to Walker and Bridges, what their stamina will be, how tough they can play defensively the whole 40 minutes. Stepanovich again.
He's really muscling Perkins on the inside. You can see again all the Missouri players down inside the paint defensively.
Missouri has hit all 3 of the shots they've taken thus far. They have a 6-2 lead. Peterson.
Pretty good perimeter shooter.
That's Peterson from Asheville, North Carolina.
He had a stress fracture last year and slowed him down a great deal to get into the work into things at North Carolina. They're expecting big things this season.
They say he has a knack for being at the right place at the right time. Sundvold has Braddock on him. Dressler brings it outside to Jones. Jones is only 6'4", but he is tough defensively and can jump well.
Stepanovich really muscling Perkins inside, getting excellent position.
Jones on the move, and he's fouled. Michael Jordan commits a personal foul. He blocked out. You can see the cast on Jordan's wrist. It's got to bother him a little bit.
This is real quickness here. They're going to count that basket. Going to see good quickness here. Here you go. There's the foul committed right there. This basket should not have counted. Wasn't even close.
Well, he got it. He's got a chance now for a 3-point play.
And the reason for that is, Gary, the contact was made before the shot obviously was underway, and therefore the foul should have counted and the ball should have taken out of bounds, but the basket should not have counted.
This Missouri team right now with an 8-4 lead.
Good block out inside.
You can expect that kind of basketball from North Carolina. They are so fundamentally sound. Dean Smith, what a job he has done.
Good help by Stepanovich. He's really doing the job defensively. He's actually playing almost a one-man zone.
Braddock trying to rub Sundvold up.
North Carolina counts on a lot of backdoor movement, but with Missouri backed in the way they are right now, they're not giving that shot.
And they are working hard on defense. Look at that. That's the first turnover against North Carolina.
Excellent man-to-man defense by Missouri.
A timeout. 15:52 to go in the first half. Be equally shared by the general scholarship funds of both schools.
There's full court pressure by North Carolina. Really the first time they've had a chance to put on any press, but you're going up against one of the classiest ball handlers and backcourt men in the college game, John Sundvold.
One thing that Norm Stewart was concerned about, though, is whether his stamina would allow him to bring it up every time. He wanted Dressler to help. Stepanovich.
Use the left hand. Beautiful move inside.
Already with 6 points.
Of course, with Prince Bridges out, Sundvold has to carry a lot of the duty. Here's a great move. Puts it up with the left hand. Gets fouled. Great play.
Second foul on Michael Jordan. So another 3-point possibility here for the Tigers early. Missouri is now 5 of 5 from the field. Give you the idea how effective they've been. This is Brad Doherty. He's 6'11", 235, a freshman from Black Mountain, North Carolina. A lot of people feel he'll be in that starting lineup before long.
I kind of think so, Gary. I kind of thought he was the best 17-year-old player I'd ever seen until I saw Sabonis play for the Soviet Union.
Can't get him, though, right?
And there you see that defense again, packed way back in, and somebody from North Carolina is going to have to start putting the ball up from the perimeter. Jones is doing a good job, though, on Jordan. He'd be the likely candidate. There he is. See, he's stepping out on Jordan.
See Jordan with that wrist. He broke the wrist in the preseason. Perkins, he's been fouled. Stepanovich.
There's why Stepanovich is not guarding Perkins. They have him on Doherty.
When they play defense, Missouri is so mentally tough. That's been a characteristic of Norm Stewart's teams. They just come out and they just take you nose to nose.
A lot of teams that play strictly man-to-man defense have a lot of zone principles in their defensive concept. Indiana with Bobby Knight. They get guys from the weak side helping out, much as you would in the zone, but they still have a lot of pressure on the ball where they need it.
Perkins now with 4 points, and he cuts it. 10 10-6. Here's Dressler. Now they expect Dressler to have to bring the ball up so it doesn't take Sunvold out of his offense. He works too hard bringing it up. It really hurts his stamina.
There's Kavanagh making not a very wise pass.
Here is Kavanagh again. And he's been fouled, and they're taking it inside to him.
Kavanagh had a great game last year. We actually should say a great half in Georgetown game. Remember when Stefanovic got in foul trouble? Here's young Doherty getting on his back. Kavanagh takes him in. Excellent pump fake right there. Goes up, gets fouled a couple of times. Good
Line last year, he only shot 43%, but he's trying to change his form, but it doesn't look like it helped him too much.
I watched him yesterday, Gary, and of course he's got a lot of problems with that, and he really needs to go ahead and take that shot and just get rid of it, because you know, the way he handles the ball, the way he releases the ball, the whole thing is really weak fundamentally.
Missouri's missed 4 free throws, but they've hit all 5 of their field goals, which is the exact reverse of what you might expect. Jordan out to Doherty, and again you can see, as Billy's pointed out, they're jammed in there. Braddock
got a piece of that, did Sunvold.
Perkins tips it out, but Ron Jones comes up with it. Here is Sunvold out of Blue Springs, Missouri.
You won't see Missouri trying to force the ball down the court on the break very much. They're very patient with it. They know they don't have a lot of subs, so they want to occupy the ball well.
Here's Dressler. Nice move.
Great move. Again, another guy using the left hand inside.
Mark Dressler, boy, if he could have that senior season. You might recall a couple of years ago he had 32 points in a game, in a regional game. He's never come back to that, and a lot of that is that knee difficulty he's experienced.
Well, sometimes it takes that little half step away and doesn't allow you to get off your jumper like you'd like to. The shots are there, but they're from the perimeter. Braddock's got a shot. Jordan's got a shot.
And Jordan, he threw it away. Oh, backcourt. It's got to be. That's the second turnover against North Carolina.
And what Missouri's doing here very well. Here's Dressler coming up under it. Watch it. He goes by Doherty, lays it up with the left hand. Great shot off the board. Gary, you point out down the other end of the court. If a team's going to pack back in there that tight, you can see Dean Smith a little nervous about it. You've got to start shooting something from the perimeter.
Somebody's going to take over that leadership.
Nice backdoor move.
Jones out to Dressler. This is a veteran Missouri team. On the other end, North Carolina, only one senior. Dressler now might get the hot hand. He's capable of that.
Well, remember what he did against Notre Dame a few years ago. Got 32 in the playoffs and put the Irish right out of it.
Believe it or not, Missouri is 7 of 7 from the field. There's Jordan now. That might give him some confidence.
Well, there's a perimeter shot. Even though Jones is playing him pretty tough on the ball, the shot is there.
Some belief that they'll take the wraps off of Jordan a little bit. They kind of contain him a little bit as a freshman. Ron Jones rejected by Perkins. Doherty out to the other Doherty. As Norm Stewart says, this is the old Doherty. The new Doherty is Brad Doherty, who has the ball right now. They spell it different, pronounce it the same.
Again, there's the perimeter shot that Missouri's given up. Now, when you play defense, you have to give up something. Down the other end, Jones going up, Perkins and Doherty knocking it away.
And look at the trap they have outside on Jones. He gets it off to Dressler, and now North Carolina is really packing it in themselves.
Beautiful pass.
Dressler, Stefanovic.
Against Yugoslavia, Kavanagh had 7 assists last week from the center position.
Stefanovic last year averaged 11.5. He's already has 8 this afternoon.
He's backing way off Doherty.
Into Perkins. And that was good defense by Stefanovic.
Again, Stefanovic is not guarding Perkins, but he'll always be there because he's sloughing off.
Substitution getting ready to come in for North Carolina. Steve Hale will check in. Stefanovic out to Kavanagh. Jones. Already picking him up, brings it out to Dressler.
Good patient offensive play right here.
Look at those long arms of Perkins. Football. Missouri is just getting everything they're putting up.
Playing very well. Good patient offense. Solid aggressive defense.
They're 9 of 11 from the field now.
Dressler's off Doherty. He's going to make him put up a shot. He's not guarding him, and he's 14 feet from the basket.
Perkins, Kavanagh at 6'9.5", trying to stay with him. Perkins gets it off to Matt Doherty. That ball was partially tipped. Here's Stefanovic at the Sunvold.
North Carolina's going to need another timeout if Missouri scores here.
They did, and the basket will count. He's been fouled. The foul on Braddock.
Momentum is really swinging Missouri's way, and North Carolina's got to get some people out of it. Great play by Missouri.
Norm Stewart woke up today things go wrong early, but right now things are going well on the basketball floor. And Dean Smith probably seeing a little inexperience hurting them right now. Some of those young players.
They're going for the timeout.
11:18 to go until half. Missouri with their biggest lead in the game. They lead by 10. One of the Coliseum since 1966. And now Dean Smith has made mass substitutions.
Well, he's coming in with what he calls the big blue team. And these are guys that usually play as a unit. He's been doing this for a long time. Last year was the first year he didn't do it. But I guess he has pretty good depth. And what we have right now, Norm's still a little upset that timeout a little bit too long. We in TV land put another 30 seconds on him, I believe. He's upset about it.
He wanted to see who's come in. They've made so many changes here, and we'll check it for you in a moment.
You don't see that happen often. I guess it just held John Sunvold so long. He's a great free throw shooter, shooting over 82% for his career.
That's exactly right. Now, this is Hale. He's a freshman from Jinx, Oklahoma. John Brownlee, Warren Martin.
This club will try to move the ball in the offense, use up some time on that clock to get the other guys back in.
Stepanovic goes down. We have an alternating jump ball, and North Carolina will have the possession this time.
Right away, coming back in, Doherty, Jordan.
Well, they're going to continue to shuttle him in, as you mentioned. Doherty comes back into the ball game along with Jordan just to talk to him, give him a breather. I'd like to wear down Missouri a little bit, too, because they're almost going to have to be Ironmen today. They'd like to go almost all the way with that starting five.
But Gary, the way that they are psyched up, and a lot of them playing right here in their hometown, you just don't wear out in 40 minutes.
And so Hale will bring it in. Steve Hale, whose dad at one time was the head coach at Oral Roberts University. Out to Warren Martin from Axton, Virginia. John Brownlee, big man from Fort Worth, Texas. Matt Doherty. Here is the left-hander Hale.
He shot right there, and again, you can see by stepping out, the perimeter shots there, the backdoor plays, and the inside movement not there, and now North Carolina goes to a zone.
Hale all the way from Jinx, Oklahoma, which is near Tulsa, and North Carolina glad to have him. You can see the confidence he had in that shot.
For Sunvold against this zone, he really had excellent position for the jump shot. They couldn't get him the ball.
John Sunvold, his brother Bob, is one of Norm Stewart's assistants.
There he is. Smart player.
That's 8 points now for John Sunvold. Back to a 10-point lead.
After watching him in the Winston Tire Classic last year, Coach Morrison from Southern Cal said he's Einstein and sneakers, and that's some kind of compliment.
He is a very bright basketball player. He makes the right passes, and he does what it takes to win for Missouri. Michael Jordan. High arch, he had to change it a little bit. Ron Jones is up in his face. Here's Jones. And they'll reset. You can see the experience of this Missouri team. They're really under control. Stepanovic out to Dressler. 9:40 to go, first half.
We're going back to man-to-man. I guess Sunvold took him out of that zone to hurry.
He'll dictate what they're going to do, and very quickly. Stepanovic, tough shot. Martin will come down with a rebound. Warren Martin, a sophomore.
Martin had another one of those stress fractures. There's Doherty trying to get inside again.
And again, they're packed inside. They're making them work for it. Hale off to Brownlee. Michael Jordan again. Nice move.
That's that great leaping ability that he has. Jones is quite an athlete playing against him. Now North Carolina goes back to the zone, switching defenses each time down the floor.
Sunvold, nice pass to Cavender. Stepanovic able to retrieve. Dressler into Cavender. Cavender, nice reverse move, but Martin comes out and he almost lost it.
Dean Smith getting pretty good play out of this big blue team, or a good part of it.
Matt Doherty's been very quiet thus far. Up against Dressler, and Cavender can't get it away from Martin, and now Stepanovic does.
Stepanovic used that body so well. He's a little tired coming down the court right now.
That's a bad shot. Sunvold off balance, and we have a foul on Ron Jones.
I think Stepanovic is a little tired right now, Gary. First time I've seen him take a lot of time to come down the court.
I think Norm's checking that very thing, but he feels he just can't go very deep due to the fact that Prince Bridges is out of there, Michael Walker is out of there. But he said we had a tough practice all week long, just trying to get that conditioning where we need it.
And you can see Cavender was bending over, holding his knees, too. That's the first sign that big guys are usually tiring out a little bit.
Well, you can hyperventilate a little bit, can't you, in a game like this, early, national exposure, maybe lose a lot of energy early. Perkins is checked in, and he threw it away.
Smart play that time by Hale, realizing there's nobody to pass to.
Third turnover now against the Tar Heels. 7:53 to go in this first half. Missouri with a 22-14 lead in the Checker Dome. With a 22-14 lead, they are shooting 69% from the field. North Carolina hitting only 38.
Dwight Moody in the ballgame now. He's the first sub. He takes Jones out. Jones been playing hard on Jordan. Here's that full court pressure again.
And this is what they want to do, is wear down Sunvold a little bit. Cavender off to Dressler.
What it does also, Gary, it takes Sunvold out of the offense. If he's going to bring up the ball, he can't be on the receiving end of any passes, and that's where you want him because he's got that great shot. When they get Bridges back, obviously that won't be the case.
New man, Dwight Moody, now has checked in. Moody is a sophomore. He played in junior college ball last year. This is Moody on the baseline.
They said he's going to take Ricky Frazier's place, and he did it because of more things like that.
He averaged 21 points at Bellevue, Illinois Community College last year. He's a sophomore at 6'5 and a half.
Nice pass by Peterson.
One pass too many. Dressler, everybody back for Carolina, so he'll set it up.
Gary, Doherty's going to have to learn to put the ball up this year because they don't have that extra score in Worthy, and teams are not playing him to shoot at all. They're playing him for the pass.
Expect more from him offensively. Broken up off of Brad Doherty.
Here's Moody now. Really came well to the ball that time because Sunvold was double teamed. Moody goes in, uses the left hand, goes right in among the trees, puts it up. Great inside play.
So he checks in and does the job for him. Sunvold. Rebound cleared by Doherty, and he lost it. 5 turnovers now against North Carolina.
Last week against St. John's, they had a lot more turnovers than they had assists. It's very unusual for a Dean Smith team.
Well, we got to remember in that game against St. John's, they got behind early in that one too, and then came back and got into overtime before finally losing 78-74.
Cavender's doing a real good job when he gets the ball inside against the zone, hitting back out to the free hit.
Dressler, rebound clear by Doherty. Doherty, 17 years old, 6'11". He was a prep All-American, consensus All-American. Peterson.
The outside jumper is there, but Peterson seems to be the only guy that wants to put it up.
He's an excellent ball handler and passer, and you can see he can shoot from outside, which brings us to the point. The ACC will have the three-point play this year from 19 feet away, and also the 32nd
Dressler
shot
wide
clock.
open.
Yes, sir.
That's the second wise play by Moody. He felt the double team, was able to hit the three-man. Good job by Dressler. Boy, he's a heady ball player.
Norm Stewart has got to be encouraged. They've got to look for some new faces with those 2 injuries, and that might be the man that can fill the role for him. Peterson to Brad Doherty, leads in.
No shot. There's Jordan, a great offensive rebound to get in the piece.
But you saw Moody again. He got the rebound. Off to Dressler. Stepanovich out of control. He's been fouled.
Big break for Missouri that time. Dressler dumped it off. He kind of lost it off his hand. And Stepanovich really hustling down the court. Made a good play out of it. We'll see it on the inside. And one of the things all teams who play North Carolina do is try to keep Jordan off the offensive board. And here he comes in, gets a piece of it with his left hand. Never forget that layup he made over Ewing in the national championship last year. Good move.
Stepanovich.
Jordan fell asleep. Stepanovich, without experience, rolled right in behind him.
10 points now for Stepanovich. 5:22 to go in the first half. 28-15, Missouri with the lead. They have been impressive. Braddock, long ways out. That would have been a three-pointer.
He looked very hesitant. That three-point circle, Gary, and the ACC will be inside the top of the key circle. Not a good pass.
Dressler to Cavender. Cavender wisely holds up.
Oh, Sunvold for the jumper.
And we're going to have a foul on Dressler.
Now that last shot by John Sunvold, well, that didn't seem like a long way out. That would have been behind the three-point circle. We'll see him right here. That is a three-point play. Coming up right here would be a three-point play in the ACC.
We're going to have to every week update people as to what the rules are. Some have the shot clock, some have the three-point play. The Big Eight will not have either. The ACC, as we mentioned, will have a 19-footer and also a 30-second shot clock.
A lot of people say the Big Eight, the reason for that is that Billy Tubbs, of course, has a great perimeter shooters at Oklahoma this year, and Missouri has Sunvolt. A lot of the coaches said, I don't want to put it in play until they get rid of those guys.
Well, that Oklahoma team
there's a backdoor.
Jordan, he's fouled. Nice pass by Braddock.
24. Well, this is the first backdoor North Carolina's gotten all day, but this is not a traditional backdoor cut. This is a lob pass. Jordan, even with that cast in his hand, still able to catch it, goes up strong, gets fouled, but misses the shot.
Dressler committed the foul. That's his second. 2 shots now coming for Jordan. Michael Jordan, freshman All-American, the ACC Rookie of the Year from Wilmington, North Carolina. No one, I don't think anyone will ever forget that shot he made in the championship game with 17 seconds to go. It was the winning basket.
He was only 5 for 11 against St. John's from the foul line last week and didn't look real confident on that one.
28-17, the Tigers leading the Tar Heels. Dressler to Kavanaugh.
Beautiful bounce pass inside.
Back to Dressler again. Dressler showing good movement. And Moody can't hang on. That's the third turnover.
Excellent fundamental style by Dressler on the bounce pass. He leans over, bounces it right in there, nice and easy to handle.
Moody will lead now, but what a job he did is coming in as Ron Jones. Jones is a high school center at 6'4". He played against Stepanovich in high school. Now we've got somebody, I think Stepanovich has a cut. I noticed that the sweatband on his right arm has some blood on it. And I think Jim Bain, the official, wants to be sure there's nothing serious. So we have an official's timeout. I believe it's his tooth or something in his mouth area.
We had something tragic happened in college basketball last night, Gary. The Tulane, Wyoming game. Jerry Yarborough, a referee, collapsed on the court. Later died in the hospital with a heart attack, only 41 years of age. Stepo's back in there.
He'll come back. A quick repair job, and North Carolina trailing 28-17. 4:18 to go, first half. Stay with us at halftime. We'll have a lot of scores and highlights. And that's too tall for Perkins.
Well, that was a set play, but Warren Martin threw the ball behind Perkins. Almost impossible to catch. North Carolina still picking up full court.
That's 7 turnovers now against North Carolina. Dressler to Sunvolt. They're handling this pressure very well.
Well, the Sunvolt back there sees the play extremely well. Another beautiful pass inside by Matt.
Boy, Perkins rejected that one. Stepanovich, look at him, play the defense. The big guy has presence of mind to get out of there.
You have an excellent passing team on the floor for Missouri. Not only are they well experienced, but good passing ability.
That's off of Matt Doherty. What you like, they're positive passes. They're moving inside with it. They're going for that basket. 3:43 to go as we have a timeout at the Checker Dome. Missouri still maintains that advantage. They lead 28-17. Going, is it a lineup problem for Dean Smith?
Well, I think that they've got to get some perimeter shooting into the ballgame. Now they're coming with a much smaller team. This brings Matt Doherty to play almost a power forward position with Curtis Hunter coming in the game. The perimeter shot is what North Carolina has to put up, but I really like the way Missouri's playing defensively, and they're very solid with their ball handling on the offensive end of the court.
And as you might see a moment ago, they're shooting well. Ron Jones into Kavanaugh. Coming down with it is a man you mentioned, Hunter. Curtis Hunter, freshman from Durham, North Carolina.
It's going to create an interesting matchup now to see who Missouri matches up with in regards to Stepanovich on Hunter. Now, Hunter really is a guard.
Hunter, one of the most sought-after players in the country. Matt Doherty.
Stepanovich coming out and playing it. If Hunter puts up a shot or two, he's going to force Stepanovich to play a little farther away from that basket.
You got to have some room to shoot. They are sticking with him tough. Jordan on the move. Picked out nicely by Matt Doherty to Perkins.
That's what he's got to do to get North Carolina back in the game, to show that he can make that shot.
That's his first 2 points of the afternoon. 28-19. The Tigers. 2:53 to go in the first half.
That's how Sunvolt did not allow them to get him in a trapping situation.
Kavanaugh is a high school player of the year. His senior year in Missouri from Springfield, Parkview High School. Stepanovich, who's worked so hard on his condition. He used to eat a lot of junk food, but then he started conditioning himself. He may have to go 40 minutes today. Sunvold.
Braddock got away with a foul that time. He pushed Sunvold just enough, and Sunvold couldn't get off the shot.
That was Braddock that did that. And it comes Perkins, and it's tough when the ball goes in. We have a foul, however.
Dressler caught on a touch foul. That'll bring Norm Stewart off the bench in that one.
The reason, that's the third foul on Dressler, and they can ill afford that. So the first man to get into foul difficulty.
You know, both of these coaches, Gary, not only have great records, but Dean Smith's put 26 guys into the pros. Norm Stewart, 16. Smith has had 6 guys that have been NBA Rookie of the Year in their first year. Both of them, of course, been blessed with good talent. I'd say Stewart not quite as deep as Dean Smith, but obviously 2 of the top coaches in America. Norm will be coaching the World University Games this year up in Canada.
7 times his teams have won 20 or more games. 3 straight Big 8 championships. His replacement is Barry Laurie. Laurie is a senior. He's out of Versailles, Missouri. Replacing Dressler, has to sit down. 2:10 left in the first half. Hunter, they feel could be another Dudley Bradley. His defense, Matt Doherty.
There he is. He's going to start putting up the shot. It's been there the entire half.
I think that's a good point. He has to score more for this team now.
He at least has to show that he'll put the shot up so defensively you can't slough off on it. Nice job by Sunvold.
Sunvold, just excellent ball handling. Always seemingly under control. There's Laurie. Laurie's had a lot of problems with his foot. Sunvold is missing right now. Can he retrieve? It's going to go off of Missouri.
You pointed out, Gary, he's missing one of the things we got to say in his benefit. He's bringing the ball up the court, and then he's also expected to be the second guard on the shot. Now, that's where they really sorely miss Prince Bridges, because a guy like Sunvold can take that position without being worn down.
Prince Bridges, an outstanding performer from Oklahoma City, has a broken foot and not doing well with it. I understand he still has a cane. Perkins.
Kavanaugh got a little tired, didn't get any help that time from the backside.
And now North Carolina starting to make a move. 28-23 as we have 1:18 left in the first half. Thrown away.
Kavanaugh getting a little tired, starting to make some mistakes.
5 turnovers now, and Missouri will ask for a timeout.
Good timeout.
Norm Stewart. At the 1:15 mark, has to regroup with his team. Dressler going out of there with 3 fouls. And so Stewart, who didn't want to have to go too deep in his bench, has already had to bring in Moody.
And the Billy Tubbs, a team that's fun to watch. They run up and down that court. They're playing Vegas. That'll be quite a game. He going against the Tart.
Barnett and Little can shoot it. 28-23, 1:07 to go in the first half. Thrown away. Perkins trying to hit the cutting Jordan. 8 turnovers now against the Tar Heels. They're going to pick them up full court.
They really are. No substitutions on that last timeout. Kavanaugh expected to get this ball in bounds. Does a nice job.
Hunter playing the tough defense on Sunvold. 1 minute to go, first half.
They're going to try to trap as soon as he gets over half court.
Hunter at 6'4", staying with Sunvold. Sunvold at 6'2". Kavanaugh out to Laurie. Laurie into Stepanovich. Rebound, Matt Doherty.
Stepanovich took that shot upon himself, realizing his team's been in a drought.
Jordan out to Doherty. After hitting 3 in a row now, North Carolina misses one.
Good to throw the ball back out. Use up the clock a little bit. Only 25 seconds. Big play.
Braddock.
That's a big turnover right there for Missouri because they had an opportunity to use up this clock.
That's the first 2 points for Braddock, and it's 28-25. Boy, that lead dissolved in a hurry, didn't it?
Goes baseline.
It's going to be off of North Carolina. Missouri will set it up.
5 seconds to go. In leagues that have the clock, Gary, we're going to see this play happen a lot because they'll reset the clock to 5 seconds. Now, I'm expecting a lot of coaches to set up specific plays for that type of situation, much as you see in the NBA. You got 5 seconds on the clock. You've got 1 opportunity to get this shot off.
Buzz Peterson coming in, replacing Hunter. Sunvold.
Pretty good play.
Missouri needed that. They've gone a long ways without scoring. That's 10 points for Sunvold. And the first half has come to a close. Missouri leading North Carolina by 5. The score, Missouri 30, North Carolina 25. NCAA basketball will continue after this word from your local station.
on the free throw line. Missouri 0 for 5 from the free throw line. Very surprising, particularly in the fact you've got a guy like Sunball that's been on the line. I would say that North Carolina came back very well with their defensive pressure at the end of that half, but Missouri handled the ball extremely well. I think the halftime probably helped Missouri. The fatigue factor was starting to set in a little bit.
That's the stamina. That's the problem that Norm Stewart talked about. He did substitute some. Now let's look at some of the stats in this first half of play. You mentioned Missouri did not even hit a free throw. They were 0 for 5 at the line.
And you can see how the rebounds, 18 to 12. North Carolina started to pour it on the boards there in the latter part of the first half. Turnovers 8 to 6. North Carolina very sloppy with the ball early, trying to go inside when it wasn't there. I thought Missouri's game plan was outstanding, the way they started defensively, and of course they're going to occupy that ball very well, and played an extremely good first half.
Well, it started out with Missouri hitting their first 7 shots from the field. Pretty good balance. They've used a lot of people. They came into that big blue lineup that you're talking about, and look at the 1-2 punch. That's what you expect. That's the two guys we talked about at the top of our show, Stepanovich and Sunbull. That's expected.
Well, they're going to be two of the greatest players in the history of Missouri basketball, without question, and you would expect them statistically to do as well. But I thought Cavender, although he's not big on the stats right there, did a great job on Perkins in the first half defensively, handled the ball real well, took good shot selection when he had to. So I thought they got a solid game out of Dressler and Cavender.
Billy, this all will end with a championship game April 4th in Albuquerque.
There's going to be a lot of teams in the battle this year.
All right, let's see if Missouri now can pick up where they started the ball game, and that's not what they wanted. Matt Doherty comes up with a steal to Buzz Peterson. Rebound, Cavender. Missouri starting with the same 5 that opened the game, and that's the story also for North Carolina. Sunbull, blocked partially by Braddock. Here's Perkins handling the ball. Michael Jordan.
Jones really did a good job on Jordan in that first half.
Here's Doherty. He was silenced for a long time. Then he hit a couple of field goals late in the first half. By that way, that rebound a while ago for Perkins, his first of the game, believe it or not. Braddock.
Much more positive looking shot that time by Braddock.
Good hustle by Matt Doherty.
And a good no call that time by the officials. Stepanovich really was a kind of a brush foul. Doherty went down almost like a slip.
Braddock was sunbowled on him.
Jones just not allowing that backdoor play into Perkins.
Perkins back out to Braddock. Trying to get it in. Only foul difficulty is Dressler, and he has 3, and he comes away with it.
Nice job by Cavender.
Dressler, the only guy in foul difficulty. He reached in there, and they got the ball away.
But he was going to try the long bounce pass to Stepanovich. Showed good patience.
Ron Jones from Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Off to Cavender, broken up by Doherty. The defense of North Carolina. Braddock. And he has been fouled. It's going to go on Dressler. That's 4 on him.
Big call. Norm Stewart up off the bench on that one. Here we go. There's Braddock going inside. Perkins. Now watch Cavender. He stays on the ground. Helps out. Does not go up, and then he gets a piece of the ball at the end.
And that's just a sophomore that is able to do that. Norm Stewart did not like that last decision at all, and he has to get Dressler out of there. And coming in is Barry Laurie, 6'1" senior. He only played in 3 games last year. He's been troubled by foot problems. He had a stress fracture. That's a familiar injury now, isn't it, in basketball?
It really is. I don't know what it was before a stress fracture. Barry's brother played for Memphis State in the club that went to the national finals. There's Dressler sitting down. St. Louis boy. That's right, played for Gene Bartow.
Braddock now with 3 points in the game.
One time, they say in practice, made 127 straight. Pretty good string of free throws, even if you don't have a crowd in front of you.
Missouri still hasn't scored in the second half. They've had it cut down to 3.
There's that baseline that they give up.
Saw the quickness of Jordan, but Stepanovich, good move.
You can give up that baseline. You got some people back there helping you on the weak side, but there was nobody there.
High point man on the floor, Stepanovich. Sunbull has 10 for the Tigers. Matt Doherty, now we have Stepanovich jumping out on him. Braddock changed the pass in the air to Jordan, and a foul.
Sunbull was helping on the weak side. Norm Stewart's starting to get a little hot now. He feels that his players are holding their ground defensively and getting the call. If Braddock goes up, gets caught in the air. Nice job that time by Jordan to keep his eye on the ball. Now here's the touch foul right there. Good call. Got him on the arm.
Sunbull, his first foul. Dean Smith The dean of the ACC coaches. Boy, in the last 16 years, their record has just been phenomenal.
This is the lineup that I would expect North Carolina to use as the season progresses.
You're talking about Doherty in there, both of them.
Two Dohertys, Braddock at the point, Jordan in the backcourt, and Perkins. This is the lineup that played so well at the start of the second half against St. John's.
Jordan now with 7 points and 32-29.
Stefanovic wisely comes back to help out against the press.
Gaviner handling the ball pretty well at 6'9½". Jones with Doherty on him. 17:49 left in this game. Harry Laurie, Jones.
Good
power move, but blocked by Brad Doherty that time.
Missouri getting away from their offense a little bit now.
Matt Doherty, after a slow start, now has 3 field goals.
There's North Carolina's full court pressure starting to spread Missouri out. They were much more compact in the first half against it.
Jones having trouble. Losing a little poise there for a moment, and Laurie now is going to have to set it up. Dresser out of the ball game with his 4th personal foul. Sunvold into Stefanovic. Move on Perkins. Gaviner.
I think Doherty got a piece of that too. Good soft shot by Stefanovic. Perkins hadn't been able to slow him down at all.
First 2 points from Gaviner. 34-31. Got it looking back door to Matt Doherty. There it is. Takes it away. Laurie.
The pull up for that jump shot.
That's a tough shot.
He's very good at pulling up on that jumper on the break.
Great body control. Both he and Stefanovic now have 12 points. 36-31. Missouri now starting to play a little bit better. They were a shaky start here in the second half.
Jones just won't let Jordan step out and get that ball.
Sunvold trying to stay with the 6'8" Doherty, and he commits a foul. That'll be his second.
Talking about using the hands by Sunvold. That's the second trick that he's picked up here in the second half.
13 foul now against the Tigers. Substitution starting to check in. Hunter and Hale, the 2 freshmen in. Curtis Hunter, 6'4" freshman. Hale, 6'3" freshman. 3 freshmen, Doherty, Hunter, and Hale. They're going to be a big addition to this Tar Heel team.
Doherty looks much more aggressive offensively here in the second half.
He has 6 rebounds, 6 points. He has the most rebounds of anybody on the floor.
Well, he was a good free throw shooter last year. He was first in the team percentage-wise, over 70, 2-3%, something like that.
He was number 2 in assists. He did things that don't show up in the scorebook sometimes, the box score, and this time he's able to drop it, and he's going to come out of the ball game. Buzz Peterson will now check in.
Well, Doherty has really played 3 positions at North Carolina. He plays the big guard some, the power forward with this team a little bit, and then, of course, the small forward.
They list him at 6'8". Is he really 6'8"?
It doesn't look it to me, but that's what he's listed, so we'll have to go by the shack.
36-32, 16 minutes to go in the game.
Jones won that ball against Peterson.
Gaviner to Sunvold. Hunter trying to stay within. Sunvold. Good movement. Good ball passing. And this time to Stefanovic.
Now you see Missouri concentrating a little bit more. They were a little bit afraid there for a few minutes. And now with Sunvold in control of the ball, they get back into their offense.
Stefanovic now with 14. Boy, what a combination they've been the last 3 years. 3 Big 8 championships with them. Perkins.
Lavender has really got his number, doesn't he?
Looks like Brad Doherty hurt himself. He's limping as he returns defensively.
Well, he had a hamstring pull at the start of the year.
Gaviner, Laurie. Missouri really has picked up now. You can see their confidence starting to come back.
They're back into their offense. North Carolina playing strictly man-to-man this second half.
Broke it up. Here comes Hunter.
He may take that ball in there.
Under control.
Good play.
You can't coach a freshman like that. They just have to have that innate ability.
Hunter, of course, is recruited by a lot of people right down from Durham, North Carolina.
They think he could be the point guard someday. He had some problems, though, with a pulled groin. He was out a couple of weeks in the preseason with it. Both these teams have been plagued by problems injury-wise.
Tough shot. Tough shot. Boy, he really had himself set for the jumper and kind of lost the pass and still made it.
14 for Sun Bulls. Stepanovich and Sun Bulls, they're vying for that scoring leadership now. 40-34, Missouri.
Just watching Missouri play, everybody wants to let Cavender handle the ball, but I think that the guy making is such a good passer that maybe the key may be not to let him touch it.
Missouri now has hit 4 in a row. Hale. Tipped up by Brad Doherty. Hunter.
He's looking like Michael Jordan out there, isn't he?
They just keep coming to Chapel Hill.
North Carolina keeping up the defensive pressure. We saw Missouri get a little tired at the end of the first half. Cavender again with the ball. He hits the open man beautifully.
Boy, they moved down, didn't they? Stepanovich, 16 points.
19 passing. No place to go for Hale. He wisely pulls up.
Well, we're seeing some very well-played basketball right now.
Considering it's still November.
Doherty against Stepanovich. Not anything you can do about that.
Well, Stepanovich is doing one thing that's very smart. He knows that he cannot get in foul trouble with this team. There's nobody to come in to back him up, so he doesn't go for that hammer.
One reason is Lance Scott, a big freshman at 6'11", has been ruled out. He cannot play basketball anymore because of a chronic back problem. They do not have the depth in that position. They use Cavender there, and then they would be really thin at the forward spot.
We haven't seen Moody get back into the ball game. It's kind of surprising. He gave him a couple of good minutes there in the first half.
Here's a nice move by Cavender. He's fouled by Brad Doherty. Substitutions now. Mark Sparks will be checking in for the first time for Missouri. Braddock will re-enter, as will Michael Jordan. Timeout, 13:05 to go in the second half.
Norm was kidding. He said we've got a chance to win the Big Eight with all the other teams we're playing on this very murderous schedule they have. He said we may also be declared the winners of the ACC because they play Virginia, North Carolina State, and North Carolina. That remains to be seen.
Probably the toughest schedule that Missouri's ever had. Here's a guy that just can't shoot free throws. Cavender has tried everything. He's worked at it. He's changed his form. Missouri, believe it or not, is 0 for 6 from the free throw line this afternoon.
Well, that was the thing that really hurt North Carolina last week. And free throw shooting gets you in a lot of trouble if you're not accurate.
So they finally get one to drop. Cavender with 3 points, 43-39. The biggest lead of this game was 11 points in the first half by the Tigers.
Stepanovich out right now, taking a little rest.
Reach in foul.
Foul starting to pile up a little bit.
That's the first on Laurie, the 4th team foul now against Missouri.
Stepanovich out taking a rest. And Dressler, of course, has the 4 fouls on him.
Perkins wasn't expecting that pass. Out to Braddock.
Got Hunter and Jordan in the game at the same time.
Here is Jordan. That move of his on the baseline. So effective. That is off of the Tar Heels.
Jones and Cavender. There's Stepanovich and Dressler sitting over there with Moody, who, as I said, I wonder if something happened to him. He played very well in the first half for a few minutes.
Also in there is Sparks. That's Sparks, number 34, sophomore from Neosho, Missouri. They feel is really maturing. They think he's going to be a fine basketball player. This is Jones. They don't have a lot of size in there now. Cavender playing the pivot. Jones is 6'4".
Well, the key now is for Missouri to occupy that ball, not take any bad shots.
Laurie, nice fake.
Shooter.
45-38. First 2 points from Barry Laurie. Find some people here today with those injuries. He's going to go with guys like Laurie. He may be able to answer the call for him. Perkins.
Cavender got out of position that time.
Perkins are now, I'm sure, trying to go to work with Stepanovich out.
Here's Cavender helping to bring up the ball.
Ooh, almost stolen that time by Hunter. Missouri's hit 6 field goals in a row. Reach in, Braddock, nice play. Up to Jordan. Cavender commits a foul.
That's what happens when you get a little tired. Try to make a play that's not there.
35!
That's his first 15th foul against the Tigers. Timeout. 11:40 to go in this game. The Tigers lead it by 5. They have 10 as opposed to Carolina's 9. You can see in the first half, the Tar Heels had the most. Missouri has hit 6 in a row now from the field in this half. They're 7 of 10. North Carolina 5 of 11.
North Stewart able to get Stepanovic a little bit of rest before that timeout, and he's back in there.
And they didn't lose any ground on that situation. So he's gotten the blow he needs. Martin is now checked in, number 54.
Beautiful play by Stepanovic on the back door. He has been able to give weak side help throughout the day today.
And that may be that rest helped him. Great scramble that time. By Sunbull, do we have a jump ball of the North Carolinas?
I think it's Missouri's turn, isn't it?
North Carolina, I believe.
Let's take a look at the arrow. Let's take a look at the arrow here. I think you're right, Gary.
I got my statistician over here, Mike Swanson, who came up with that. I can't take that much credit, but it is North Carolina's ball.
Good hustle.
The alternating ball. Of course, this year there's a change to that rule, Billy.
Well, it is. If the defense can create the 5-second tie-up, they get the ball, and the alternation stays as it was.
So they alternate every held ball. This time, Carolina's and Jordan. Boy, what touch he has.
What makes him so tough, most guys that are great leapers on the inside don't have that soft touch from the outside, and he combines two, kind of like David Thompson.
9 points now for Jordan. Sunbull. Stepanovic. That was broken up. Martin was staying with it defensively. It's off to Missouri.
Boy, Stepanovic had made the good move. Perkins got those long arms in there to break it up in the last second. Here we see him rolling. He goes right around Martin. There were the hands coming in there. Big play, and Jones almost gets a piece.
Braddock. And the foul on Stepanovic, reaching around Perkins.
Really going to Perkins on the inside now. Here comes Dressler back in the game. North Stewart figures he's gone long enough. We'll see the play on the inside. Perkins holding him off. Stepanovic, really powerful upper body, gets called for the wraparound foul.
That's his second, the 16th foul, so one more, and they'll be shooting some free throws.
Okay, there's Norm Stewart. He really has this game well prepared. He's gone back with his regular starting lineup now. Dressler was out a long time. Close to a 5-second call there. As the clock keeps going, or the count keeps going until somebody touches it in bounds. It's not when the man releases it out of bounds.
26 seconds left. Jordan inside. The basket will count, but it's going to be a foul on Jordan.
After this shot, offensive foul. This year, Gary, there's a point of emphasis in the college rules on vertical plane, and that's what that call was all about. When the offensive player violates an area, a vertical plane area that the defense had, it's a foul, and it always has been a foul on the offense.
What is that word you use?
Verticality or verticality?
Substitution Peterson comes back in now for Carolina. Missouri with a 45-44 lead. 10-23 left in the game. Martin will check out.
See the lineups now exactly as this game started. Both teams, lineups, they started the ballgame.
Cavender will inbounds the Sunbull. He lost it.
And he tipped it. Good hustle. Great play by Jimmy Braddock.
Well, the North Carolina defense has now the 12th turnover.
This is their first chance, I believe, to take over the lead, isn't it, Gary?
45-44 at the 10-21 mark. You're right.
Perkins wanting that ball inside. Don't be surprised if they don't get it in there.
North Carolina looking for that first lead of the game.
Being very patient, and Missouri really has it backed in there. There's Perkins.
Perkins to Braddock.
Not close.
Stepanovic rips it down. Matt Dorney, a little shaken up. They wanted to see if he's okay. He is. So they'll inbounds the ball. Officials timeout.
Good rebound by Stepanovic. Held his ground. He's not a great leaper, but he has good position.
That's his 7th rebound. Stepanovic vastly improved. Dressler playing with 4 personal fouls.
He's got to be careful. Missouri needs him in a ball game.
Back door, Sunbull.
That's that experience. Those guys have been playing together for a long time. They read each other's mind beautifully.
16 points for Sunbull. Perkins, double team. He's been fouled. It's going to be Cavender.
Stepanovic came from the backside. Cavender heading from the front. This is what's been happening all day to Sam Perkins. There's that lob pass. Beautifully executed. And you know, when Prince Bridges is in the lineup for Missouri, they throw that lob, and that guy, although he's only 6'1", can go up there and jam it.
They call it the alley-oop. Well, that foul now has put him into the 1-and-1 situation, the 7th-team foul against Missouri. Perkins at the line.
It'll be a 2-shot foul, though he was in the act of shooting.
He is thus far 2 of 2 from the line, 8 points, 1 rebound. That's interesting. He only has 1 rebound.
Cavender has done an excellent job, and what Missouri did with that weak side defense by Stepanovic, never put in a position to go for the second shot.
Laurie comes in, Dressler out. This is what Perkins has to look at when he tries to hit the free throw. The pom-poms are waving.
Any young player that gets in this kind of situation really has to concentrate on that rim. Good tap out that time by Jordan.
And he has the rebound. Perkins does. 47-45.
Out of
bounds play on Jordan.
Some
Missouri will have it.
Jones is really playing some great defense. There's Jones, not giving that baseline at all. Michael Jordan stepped out of bounds. Good call.
They have one criticism of Ron Jones. He's too aggressive sometimes, but it paid off that time. Missouri still in a 2-point lead. 9:16 to go in the game.
Sunball did a wise thing. Instead of going into the teeth of that defense, he backed up his dribble.
Cavender, double team, gets it off to Sunbold.
Nice pass.
Cavender's played well beyond his experience.
Well, he won't show up much in the stats tomorrow, but he has played some kind of game without it.
Foul on Doherty. Matt Doherty collided with Sunbold.
Shows you the kind of range Sunbold had. He was out there about 23 or 4 feet.
North Carolina, not any foul trouble at all. That's the first on Doherty, only their 3rd-team foul.
But it's a 2-shotter, so of course he'll go to the line.
16 points for Sunbold. This is first. He's missed a free throw earlier today. It's very, very seldom that Sunbold will miss. You know, we were talking about that earlier. He gets this one.
83% career free throw shooter. Last year, this young guy only had 50 turnovers for the entire year.
That's in 31 games, Billy. That's amazing, isn't it? Boy, he's not hitting them in center, but he's getting them, and those were big free throws. 49-45. Less than 9 to go. This is Hale from Dix, Oklahoma. Look it up. Look at the hustle by Stepanovic. You know, he slipped there. Sometimes this surface will get very slippery because there's ice underneath for the hockey team.
Well, I remember in that game, the UCLA-Indiana game that was played back here in the 75-76 season. Missouri got hot that day, and the water started coming up through the floor.
Hasn't been that much of a problem today, but Stepanovic that time losing the footing. Into Jordan.
I think that's going to be offense. Yep, good call. That was that same rule interpretation we're talking about. Laurie had position. He held his ground. The foul was on Jordan. Here we see it right here. There's Laurie. Holding his ground. Jordan came into him. The defensive man has the right to that position.
And all of a sudden now, Dean Smith has some foul difficulty. That's 4 on him. 4 on Jordan.
Peterson pushing off Sunbold.
And they have the foul called. Going to be on Hale. He reached in on Barry Laurie as they were trying to inbound the pass.
Those fouls when North Carolina likes to get in a position where the other team is not in the 1-and-1, but they picked up a couple of quick ones there.
Boy, all of a sudden now they have 5-team fouls. And this time it's going to be on Sunbold.
Peterson drew the charge, anticipating. Now North Carolina does not guard the man taking the ball out of bounds. Peterson anticipated the cut and drew the charge.
So 2 back-to-back fouls. That's the 3rd on John Sunbold. Dressler with 4, Sunbold with 3, Jordan with 4, Peterson at the free throw line. He's gone to his bench today, hasn't he? The big blue lineup, trying to find the right combination. Peterson with 4 points.
Good looking free throw shot there. Peterson from the Asheville, North Carolina area.
Beautiful area up in those Smoky Mountains. 10 of 13, North Carolina now from the line.
2 good looking free throws.
And it's a 2-point game. 49-47 the Tigers.
You notice nobody guard the man taking the bounce. Now Sam Perkins slips. That floor is getting a little slippery down in that far corner.
Here's Laurie. He's been asked to play some very meaningful minutes today. He's done a very good job. Off to Sunbold.
Well, it really helps Missouri when Laurie can handle that ball for the simple reason.
Look at Jordan. The speed of Jordan. And it's all tied. 49-0. Timeout. Missouri. Norm Stewart is going to talk to Jim Bain. He thought there might have been a foul.
Well, we talked about that slippery floor down there. Michael Jordan might have been taking a chance, but he gets up.
All right, we're tied up, 49 all.
His press has given Missouri some trouble not taking that man out of bounds.
Missouri this half has 9 turnovers. This defense of North Carolina's been tough.
You notice what happened. Norm Stewart said, Sunball, you get back there and bring the ball up the court, even though we need you at the end of the pass. It's more important to get the ball up court.
Stefanovic, Perkins on him, and Steve will back it out now.
Looking for the back door.
Cavender, Matt Doherty fouled him.
Not a bad play by Matt Doherty because Cavender's got his problems on the foul line. Good job by Missouri trying to go back door. You see it right here. Everybody on this Missouri team's a good passer. Best thing about their ball club. Doherty goes up there and obviously commits the foul, but probably a pretty good one.
Interesting. St. John's defeated North Carolina. Missouri now battling North Carolina. They're all taking a shot at the defending champions.
It's been a long time since somebody had an opportunity to beat. Cavender shot that one very well. North Carolina since 1919 has never opened a season with 2 straight losses. It's a long time.
Boy, Cavender's now giving him a 1-point, 2-point lead. Hey, he's found a new success at that free throw line. Cavender now is 2 of 6 for the day. 51-49, 7:51 left.
No back doors available. North Carolina hasn't gotten an easy basket all day because of this good weak side defensive pressure by Missouri.
The question is, can the stamina hold for Missouri? They've had to go most of the way. The starting 5 at Stefanovic. That's his 3rd.
Good call. He reached in on Doherty.
Kind of fouls, you know what, though? They're kind of needless.
Well, normally, if you go after a man with the ball and you come down over the top, as was the case there by Stefanovic, you get the foul. If you come up underneath the ball, you can get by with the steal.
Gene Smith, 50 years old, his 22nd year. Winning percentage of over 76%, as Doherty was 7 points, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, and the leading rebounder in this game was 7.
There's Jordan again, 2nd time on a missed free throw. He's been able to tap back out. Norm Stewart won an over and back that time, but didn't get it.
North Carolina missed those free throws against St. John's. Shot 45%. They're having some big misses today. Perkins.
Not a good shot. Great defense again by Cavender.
He just took him out of the angle, didn't he?
He really did.
2-point lead for the Tigers.
With a good passing team with a lot of experience, they'll start using that clock.
Going to go on Perkins. That's only his 1st, and he's going to argue his case.
I think that what he's saying, and Dean Smith is saying, is that Stefanovic fouled before that time, said he's grabbing his neck.
Well, Perkins commits a personal foul.
How often, Gary, do you see that in football, too, where a defensive back gets in maybe the first shot, and then the offensive guy may get called up for the second one.
Well, they get him 5 or 10 or 15 yards. They can't do that here.
Stefanovic goes to the line. An excellent free throw shooter for a big guy. He's averaged over 72% for his career.
He's 0 for 1 today, however. The bonus is in now.
Short. It's unusual. Cavender, not supposed to hit him, makes 2. Stefanovic, who misses his. Nice fake. Could be a charge.
Perkins trying to tie it up, and he's been fouled.
All the block. And that was a big play for Perkins to try to go inside against a defense that's been jammed. Here he goes. Stefanovic holding his ground. Dressler gets over. That's going to be Dressler's 5th.
That's it. He's fouled out. Had to wait. I thought maybe for a minute it was Stefanovic, but they called it on Dressler. He leads with 6 points, 4 rebounds. Morey will come in.
You notice, Gary, that Missouri seems to be taught not to try to go for the block, to play position basketball defensively. They don't have a great leaping club out there. As a matter of fact, I guess you'd say Jones the best leaper they've got on the floor. Cavender's primarily a position player, so is Stefanovic.
Perkins is 3 of 4 from the stripe. He'll have a couple of shots coming. Now he can tie it up.
Of course, we don't have a clock, so the opportunity for Missouri to sit on that ball a little bit as it gets down the wire is certainly there.
10 points for Perkins. 11. Substitution will come in before the inbounds, and Hunter will come in for Peterson. And the full court pressure will be applied by the Tar Heels.
Missouri again wanting to get that ball in Sunball's
Gonna
hand.
have to hurry. Got it to Stefanovic.
That's that slippery part of the court.
6:53 left in the game.
Very difficult to double team this club because all the guys pass the ball so well. Where's Cavender going?
Oh, what a move, but he went over the basket with it.
Not a smart play. Nobody on Perkins now. Nobody on Perkins.
They can take their first lead of the game if they can get one down here. Perkins walked.
He walked.
He sure did.
Got by with it. There's where Sam Perkins, who likes to use that left hand, did not have the right hand available, took an extra step and got away with it.
Still tied up 51-all, 6:15 to go. What an opener for CBS here on NCAA basketball. Zundel, the double team on him. Boy, they're playing tough defense.
That's good help by Doherty that time.
Jones to Laurie. Laurie playing for the fouled out wrestler.
Good play by Laurie. He's been around for a long time. He's got good basketball genes, not taking a bad shot.
Inside 6 minutes in the game. Stefanovic.
Doherty's doing a good job helping out. That means Cavender's going to be open. Cavender should go to the basket. He's wide open. Cavender should go to the basket.
5:30 now left in the game. Nice pass blocked by Perkins. That was a fine pass. That shows you the quickness of Perkins. They want him to block more shots, even though he led the team last year.
Here we go. Stefanovic coming across. Good drop, bounce pass inside. Perkins timed it perfectly and smacked it out of bounds.
He had 53 blocks a year ago. I think they'd like to get him up to 100 before this year is over. Worthy had a lot of those. This year, they're going to have Perkins come away with it. Attendance today now being announced here is 15,228.
Some of that water coming up on the floor.
Ron Jones will inbounds for Missouri.
North Carolina in the zone.
Jordan with another steal.
He lost concentration. Good play by Jordan.
Again, North Carolina has a chance to take the lead for the first time in this game. Jordan to Perkins, and Laurie's got it.
Too hard a pass. At close range, pretty tough to catch.
12 turnovers now against North Carolina.
Now it's Doherty on Stefanovic. Stefanovic, if they can get the ball to him, he's got a smaller man.
Look at that North Carolina bench are standing there in the background. Now they're starting to sit down. They're in this game. Jones, Stefanovic, nice.
There he is.
Left-hand shot.
Smart play by Missouri.
18 points for Stefanovic.
I don't know how North Carolina got caught in that mismatch because Perkins had been on him.
Dean Smith wants to know why, too. Braddock to Perkins. And it's going to be, I think, Laurie reaching in on him.
I think it's Stefanovic.
Is it? That'll be 4 on him. That's right. 4 fouls on Stefanovic.
Let's see if they give him 2 on this. He was wheeling. Dean Smith's got to be a little nervous. He'd been here so many times before, but I guess the butterflies never stop. 2 shots.
11 points for this man. 5 of 6 from the line.
Sam Perkins is backing off that line just as soon as he releases it instead of staying with the shot.
He hit the last 2, but he had a chance to even it up. Now to cut it to 1.
There's that full court pressure again. Not guarding Cavender, taking the ball out of bounds.
So we have now that odd point, 53-52.
Another thing that helps Cavender, he can throw it over those guards that try to double team him.
Look at that. The footing is really starting to be a problem, isn't it?
There's Jones wide open.
Look at Jordan again with the quickness, but Jones recovers. Jordan just runs by him. Harry Laurie, 4:15 left in the game. The Tigers by 1. Using Cavender very effectively. Almost broken up. Stefanovic out to Laurie. Ron Jones, very patient now. The Tigers. Stefanovic!
Left hand.
Jones. Rejected by Perkins. Carolina's got it. They can take the lead.
Surprising shot by Perkins. No delay from the corner.
And North Carolina leads for the first time in this game. 54-53.
Dean Smith changes defense as he dropped back. Looks like he's going to go zone. He sure is. Now look for Sunbull.
And the whole bench is up now for North Carolina in the background.
North Carolina goes to their 1-3-1 matchup zone.
2:24 left in the game.
I'll tell you what, they're playing a diamond in one.
Laurie with a big basket.
North Carolina's playing a diamond in one, it looked like that time on the one-man on Sun Bowl.
4 points for Laurie. Missouri by 1.
Norm Stewart down on the knee. He wants his team to back in.
There's a big steal. Cavender needs to pick up the ball. He's fouled by Perkins.
Smart play. That's a smart foul.
That's the man they want to send to the line, if anybody, is Cavender.
Boy, Laurie hit a big jumper there because North Carolina was trying to get somebody other than Sun Bowl to take a shot, and they did.
Laurie has his knee all skinned up. He's come in here after having such a disappointing career due to that stress fracture, but that's a pick basket in his career right now.
Cavender goes on the line. He made the last 2.
He scored 5 points, all of them this half. 3 of 6 from the line, and he's hit 3 in a row now. Also 5 rebounds. Timeout called by North Carolina.
It's a little mental timeout.
Well, Cavender doesn't need that. He will be back to shoot the free throws at the 2:58 mark. Missouri leading by 1, 55-54, and Greg Cavender going to the free throw line.
Well, Gary, there are a lot of reasons coaches call timeouts. Obviously, the timeout was put in to rest your players, but that's usually the last reason coaches call them now. That was one of those
Remember, he shot only 43% last year. Changed his shot. He's worked on it a lot.
He's doing
now at the 2:58 mark. He hopes that form is going to be true to him now. He's hit 3 in a row. 4 in a row.
I watched Missouri practice yesterday, and they have a little ritual where you must make 6 in a row before you can sit down, or else you got to start running. And he finally got his 6 in a row. He's going on it today. They count a lot more here.
It's a 2-point lead now. 56-54.
North Carolina got very impatient when they had a chance to take that lead, trying to go inside to Perkins when it wasn't there. Missouri really backed inside.
Oh, they started the game. Jordan.
That's short.
Not rolled with a rebound. They may be in a situation now where they're just going to really let it out, huh? They may sit on it a while.
Now they've got Laurie. They've got Sun Bowl, 2 excellent ball handlers in the back line, and Cavender does a good job holding that ball for him in the front line.
By the way, if there's a jump ball, the next possession will go to Missouri. That's something to think about.
They're using the clock right now.
2:13 left on that clock.
Sun Bowl handles it nicely.
Laurie's a good man to have in there in this situation. Stepanovich, Perkins way out on him. They're counting time on him. They want to foul this guy if they're going to do anything.
Back door. Beautiful pass. Good pick.
Big play by Stepanovich against 20.
Dean Smith trying to signal his players that if they score to call a timeout to stop the clock.
4-point lead for the Tigers. Stepanovich with 20.
They've got to put it up. They've got to put it up. Missouri back in the defense way down.
Peterson hits one.
Dean Smith wanted a timeout, but he didn't get it.
Peterson has 8 points, 2-point game, 1:28 left. Sun Bowl, look how he handles the ball.
And of course, he's a guy that can handle the ball, and then if you get fouled, he's the man you want on the line. Missouri looking for backdoor cuts. They ought to foul Cavender every time he touches the ball.
There he is.
They should foul him every time he touches the ball. There he
did. Matt Doherty.
What Norm Stewart is really upset, he wants his guys to step out. Now, you don't want Cavender to have to touch that ball in the backcourt area if you're Missouri. Keep him off the line.
Boy, if you think about Cavender, he's going to be facing this the rest of his career. Anytime you get down the end, they're going to want to send him to the free throw line.
Well, with the exception of the great defensive play he's given on the other end of the court, I'm sure Norm Stewart is caught between the river and the deep blue sea, and the fact to say, well, I need him on defense, but he's hurting me on the offensive end. He's hitting it now.
He is now 5 of 9 for the day.
And he looks confident up there. He's stepping off the line, taking the ball with some confidence.
How about this? Nope, didn't go that time. Perkins, 59-55. Braddock wasting no time. Rebound, Barry Warren. He went up high for that one. Double team. Perkins gets it off to Doherty. Norm Stewart thought there should have been a foul. He got it anyway.
He threw up a a brick there, and there's another foul on Cavender. Down to 53 seconds.
Cavender was fouled, and he's going to go to the line again. You see the time left. Norm Stewart was fuming. He thought Laurie on that double team had been fouled.
Now Cavender again has to go to the line.
He's hit 50%. You see the time remaining. At the line, Cavender.
He drilled it.
I tell you, he may put the stigma behind him of not hitting free throws. He's now 6 of 11. This seems like a long afternoon for him this year.
He hit nothing but court on both of them. Now North Carolina's going to put it up quickly and call timeout if they score.
50 seconds to go. Perkins. And North Carolina gets that timeout. They'll have 3 remaining. Perkins with 16 points. 45 seconds left in the game. Missouri leads North Carolina by 2.
Called a timeout when he didn't have any. Really becomes a factor in the ball game and you get a chance to tie. Of course, in the Southern Conference, where they had the three-pointer for quite some time, the Sun Belt had it also. It was out so far that primarily it was used as a catch-up weapon. Now some of the conferences that have moved in considerably inside that distance, it's obviously part of their offense.
Again, now the Big 8 does not use the shot clock or the three-pointer. The ACC will have the 30-second clock and a 19-foot three-pointer. Here we go.
They're going for the layup.
Cavender needs help. He calls another timeout. He was in trouble very wisely. At least
Stewart thought he could do there possibly is because of the big overplay, and he knows Dean Smith well, that he'll try to overplay all passing lanes, is to maybe get an easy one down at the other end of the court on the layup, but it wasn't there.
Point play is going to cause a lot of excitement this year.
I think we're going to see Cavender on the line before this game is over at least one more time. And I look for Missouri this time to try to break Sunbold, get in the screen, try to break him long to get the ball in his hands.
Stewart has him in place. Here we go. He gets it into Stepanovic. Cavender to Jones. They didn't get over there quick enough to foul him. You see the time left.
They've got a foul. They've got a foul, but they got the ball in the hands of the wrong man.
Stepanovic will go to the line.
As we said, for a big guy, an outstanding free throw shooter, 73% career.
So Stepanovic has played so well today. He's got to be a strong candidate in my books for the MVP.
Mike, how many timeouts does North Carolina have left?
They have 3.
They have 3 left. If they get it down court quickly, they'll try to call a timeout to stop
21 points now for Stepanovic. 1 of 3 for the line, 8 rebounds. I'm going to vote for him for the MVP. Do you concur, Mr.
You got
Packer?
a second.
Tough free throw. 63-58. North Carolina's got to be in a hurry.
Got to put the shot up.
Peterson. Shoot 2 from there. And now they'll ask for another timeout and have 2 left.
And that would have been a 3-point shot.
And still, it's a 3-point advantage with 11 seconds left to go.
Yeah. Then you move him in to move to the outside and catch the ball, Steepo.
Move to the outside.
Don't push off.
Move to the outside. No foul.
Guys are interchanging here.
Okay, here's what Norm Stewart is trying to do. He's going to try to go for the easy basket to Jones, streaking down the court. If he doesn't get that, the second alternative is to throw the ball up high for Stepanovic. They know he's got the good hands. He's a good catcher. The guards are going to kind of be a little bit of a decoy here. So look for them to try to go long to Jones down the court. If they don't have it, get that ball to Stepanovic, who's shown he can make the good free throws.
Stepanovic, he's the man who has played so well, hitting those 2 crucial free throws a moment ago. He'll be our MVP for this game. With 11 seconds still, they don't have a put away. in the second half. Missouri's hit 11 of 15 from the line, as has North Carolina.
All the good plans of mice and men go astray. And Norm Stewart has to be saying, what was that play all about? Look at he's talking over in the sidelines of Lord.
Was that a grin or a grimace over there?
Well, he spent 60 seconds diagramming the play, and what eventually evolved didn't even look close.
Cavender now is 7 of 10 from the line.
Doherty fouled out.
Cavender probably feels that he's been at the line all afternoon long.
Well, I thought they'd get him back on the line at least one time.
Boy, he needs one of these anyway.
Well, with 7 seconds, it'd be hard to believe that even without any of them, maybe the best thing he could do is to have that ball bounce off the rim a good distance.
Cavender, thus far, 7 of 10. 9 points for the afternoon.
This kind of interesting move right here. North Carolina puts Martin and Doherty in the game. Missouri will not try to rebound this at all. Missouri's going to have 4 men back to prevent any long pass going down to Jordan.
Jordan's the only man back. There's Dean conferring with Sam Perkins. 3 points, the difference. 7 seconds remaining, a 1-and-1.
They're going to try to get that ball up to half court as quickly as possible if he misses it.
8 of 11.
That seals it. I know we picked Stepanovich for the MVP, but Cavender has had a great ball game. That's out of the gym.
Jordan. Rebound, Stepanovich. And the time has expired. Missouri Tigers have defeated North Carolina in their first meeting ever against a team from the ACC. An excellent start to this 82-83 season on CBS.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Congratulations, you coached a pretty mean game.
Well, I had a pretty good teacher.
Somehow.
Did I teach you the part about the winning coach buying the loan, Brown?